Gonna do it.
So come on down. And I'm reaching up and there's another 3 more feet before I get to this.
My God. Right, but yeah.
Couple of meetings under your belt.
Oh,
Let's say, I realized I need some water.
you have a finished basement?
Right? Yeah. Water's deeper than people realize that it is. It's called.
I've already invited you to share it. Because I thought you might like to do that. Let me see who the 20 members are.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh, big audience tonight.
Yeah.
You'll have to talk over them all.
I got to see firsthand Brookfield Fire Department response today.
Hmm.
One truck down 125th Street, 2 down 126th, and 1 down 127th.
Wow. That's a lot of racket.
What were they going to?
Nobody found out. But they had a fire truck, 2 ambulances, and incident command, and they all took different directions.
Wow, crazy. Okay, I would like to call the Village of Lannon Village Board meeting to order for Monday, March 9th at 7 p.m. You'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, Batiste.
Present.
Grenier,
Here.
Lake,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Summers,
Here,
Willard.
Here.
And Yates is present. We have a full house. Item 4, statement of public notice.
Has been posted?
Thank you. Item 5, discussion of possible action on the reading, correction, and approval of the minutes from the 2/9/26 village board meeting. I believe there was a copy on your desk. Anybody notice any changes or corrections that needed to be made?
No, I just have one question in the item 10. About the land and quarry fund,
Yep.
you know, it was motion for discussion at a later date, but you know, that's kind of open-ended, so is there some way of tracking?
So, there was some communication back. I had reached out to Wendy and there was some communication back from her, and that's on me that I didn't get it on this agenda because I think we have enough information to move forward and make a decision based on her input from that. So I'll make sure that gets on next month's meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as printed for February 9th, 2026.
And I will second that motion.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, committee reports, finance and personnel.
We will cover in number 11 and number 17.
Thank you. Legislative.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Parks, Rec and Beautification.
The Easter Bunny is coming to visit at the Village Hall 11 a.m. on the 28th of March. Any volunteers are welcome to contact me to help with that.
What are the hours?
11 to 12:30.
Okay. Two,
12:30.
12:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always a good time.
Kids love it. And we have a special bunny too. Sarah Miranda's gonna volunteer to be our bunny. Not that kind of bunny.
She'll fit in.
That's
right.
the crushes the tail kind. Yeah.
You'll fit in that suit a lot better than I did. Just make sure you hydrate beforehand, because it's hot.
It's
a hot
warm.
costume.
Okay, thank you. Item D, public safety.
None at this time.
Thank you. Public works, recycling, sewer.
Our SCADA project is ongoing. Generator has been installed. We did discuss last time some backfilling that would need to get done. That we are waiting for the weather to break on. We do not have a date scheduled for that yet, but it's ongoing. SIM cards are here. They're just working right now on the communications to be set up on that. That we do have pay applications for that project. It's item number 12 on the agenda. Good Hope Road reconstruction. So we've had some initial conversations about the design of that. So that essentially is items 14, 15, and 16 on the agenda for tonight, has all of the design and real estate acquisition that need to be required for that project to move forward. And then as an update between last month's meeting and the meeting here tonight, we did have a 30% review meeting for the Bonnie Lane Road reconstruction, and the Jakes Park Path, development, so. Nothing further at this time.
Thank you, Dan. Lots of stuff going on. Corey,
All quiet on the quarry front.
thank you. Item number 7, department reports, clerk's office.
The auditors will be in the office the week of the 23rd, I believe it is. So they'll be in and out, probably mostly here that week, the front part of the week. There is an election on April 7th. Polls will be open at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's all I got.
Thank you. Police department.
You'll find that the monthly report is in your report packet. It's been disseminated. You'll see that we added some highlighted arrests, mostly what Officer Arenda has been adding to the village police department. And also, we'll try to do this from time to time when appropriate, but I added something, a reminder about to our citizens that all dogs must be licensed, and it goes with the village ordinance. We also did pastries with a pal this month and book club with Lannon Elementary. It was posted on our Facebook account. And a Valentine's Day dance. I got to go for a little while and have some fun with the kids and all the adults and parents that were chaperoning. And then Officer Renda showed up too and took some great pictures with some of the kids as well. May 10th through the 16th is Police Week to honor our fallen officers across the United States. We will be sending Officer, soon to be Sergeant Schweitzer with the Lannon Police motorcycle out to Washington DC for all the days to do escorts and honor our fallen brothers and sisters in law enforcement. That's it.
Great, thank you, Chief. Item number 8, response to citizens' comments. There were no comments that require any response. Item number 9, citizens' comments. Do we have any citizen comments from the 2 citizens? Nothing? Or Don? Yeah, I knew you would have something.
This is a good one, though. We get
Okay.
a monthly magazine. Being a trustee from the state of Wisconsin, I got mine on Friday. There's a very nice write-up in with the chief from the Falls Fire Department about how things have been going on. So it's I think we've got a very respectable department. And the fact that they chose our chief, who's only been in that position for about a year and a half, it's probably a 6, 7 page article. And so it's something that we, not the same as our own department, but I feel we are in extremely good hands.
Great, thank you, Don. Any other citizen comments? Going once, twice, so. Item 10, discussion and possible action on approval of operators licenses. Looks like we got several here and a few add-ons as well. These have been screened by the chief. At least the ones I saw initially.
Chief, have you
And-
seen all these, even the ones that aren't noted as okay?
Yes, yeah, I ran everyone, all applicants and they all have passed. Some of them may have had some traffic, but nothing that would preclude them from having a license.
And Brenda, do you require they pay that $35 fee when they submit these applications?
Yes, they should, but they don't get their license until they pay it. Some of them get emailed over, some of them just get dropped off, but for the most part, we collect it.
Good.
Do we know who the first one is working for, Samantha? It doesn't say.
Doesn't say, but I don't think it matters, right?
No, it really doesn't.
It's just for the village of Landon.
I think she applied for the 1229 club.
Oh, okay.
Someone other than the dugout?
They're the dugout,
Yes, yeah.
the dugout is so staffed. I'm thinking of serving alcohol there myself, just to say I did.
Not to earn money.
Do we require the applicant signature on the top?
Samantha.
This, one of these from Haley that came through is not signed on the top.
It's interesting that there's two places for signatures and it's in one and not the other. Brenda, is that okay? One of the applications is missing a signature?
We'll get her to sign when. Yeah, well, that is kind of, that application is a little different than the other one.
And then Miss Murphy spelled her last name wrong.
Which one?
Miss Murphy, Jasmine.
Spelled her own last name.
That's gotta be handwriting.
No.
Oh,
Check it
I
out.
see.
Well, yeah.
MIRP. What?
What?
Well, that's how she
or the
passed the background
certificate's
test.
wrong.
Yeah.
I took note of that and almost failed it right then and there, but.
Yeah, typo.
All right, so we have to go through these one at a time, correct?
I think you, yeah,
There's an objection,
yeah, you can do them all,
unless there's an objection.
yeah,
Okay,
something that specifically needs to be called out.
all right, so we have 6 here, so I will make a motion. To approve the applications to serve, fermented malt beverages and intoxicating liquor for the following people, Heather Shu, Haley Gristmeyer, Samantha Keith, Jasmine Murphy, and Madison Hogg.
I have a second.
Did that cover all of them? Yeah, okay. We have a motion, do we have a second?
I have a second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, discussion and possible action on promoting Officer Schweitzer. This is an item that was undertaken by the Finance and Personnel Committee at tonight's earlier meeting and was put forward as a recommendation to accept, but I'll give Chief Sly an opportunity to give his spiel.
Sure. It's my intention to promote Officer Schweitzer. Many of you know him. He's been here for about 3 years, and he is an exemplary leader. He has qualities that made me take a double look at him, and he's there for us all the time. He's a great mentor to our newest officer, Officer Horrenda. He's there for her in mentorship. He's there for me when I have questions about truck laws and different things, different aspects. He's highly certified in many different areas of law enforcement as instructor and just the different things that I need a little bit of help with. He does a lot of the administrative work where he works in Big Bend full-time where he's a sergeant. And I just believe that I've done this my entire career, but we put the proper people in the proper places. And Officer Nathaniel Schweitzer belongs as a sergeant here in the village of Landon. He'll work, continue to work part-time, about 1 day a week. He'll come in and divvy up his duties between helping me out with some administrative stuff as well as patrolling the street. He is motorcycle endorsed as well as certified in police motorcycle operations. And he's a valuable asset to this village and the community that we serve.
Right, Officer Schweitzer, did you want to say anything or?
Well, I think I couldn't say it any better than the chief.
See?
I'm just happy to be here and I'd like to help out any way I can with Landon, and this is just another opportunity to expand upon what I already do here. And just hopefully help out where help is needed.
Did any of the other trustees have any questions for Officer Schweitzer or? I think we're all probably pretty familiar with him. He's one of our more regular part-time participants here in the department, so.
He likes to ride the bike a lot.
He does, and he does all the events. I mean, if there's ever an event here, he's usually here somewhere, so. Well, I would entertain a motion then, if someone is so
I
inclined.
make a motion to approve our new sergeant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the promotion of Officer Schweitzer to sergeant. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're gonna swear him in and put his badge on right away, right?
Thank
Okay.
Swear at. It's cheaper that way. I don't have to come in on other days.
Right, so, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Nathaniel Schweitzer,
Having been appointed to the office of police sergeant,
having been appointed to the office of police sergeant,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Wisconsin, and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, and for our badge ceremony, Aaron's gonna do the honors of pinning on badge.
Don't draw his
I
blood.
know, I'm nervous. I pre-poked a hole, so.
This one's a little different.
What's that red stuff?
Yeah.
Guys, you're making me nervous. Ooh, this one's hard.
If you have any beef with them, now's a good time to.
No.
All right, we have a certificate of promotion from the Village of Landon Police Department. Nathaniel J. Schweitzer is hereby promoted to the rank of sergeant. This elevation in rank imposes upon the recipient a profound obligation to discharge the duties of his office diligently and in an exemplary manner as prescribed by Land and Police Department Code of Conduct, core values, and guiding principles. In dealing with citizens and coworkers, he shall always strive to be courteous, tactful, fair, and so discharge his duties that he will inspire public confidence and create respect for the police profession. It is required but that all members under his command obey his lawful orders. If his rank is supervisory, and that he be obedient to such lawful orders and directions as he may receive from his superior officers in the police department in accordance with the Land and Police Department Code of Conduct, core values, and guiding principles, the ordinances of the Village of Landon, and the laws of the state of Wisconsin and the United States of America, effective this 9th day of March 2026, signed by me, Chief of Police. Congratulations. Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
You can just go that.
the rest of them aren't that much fun.
Thanks.
Item 12, discussion and possible action on pay application 4 and 5 for Jay Miller.
We don't have Ben here tonight.
Haven't been here tonight, huh?
Director of Public
All
Works.
right, I guess I'll try to fill in. Big shoes to try to fill in. So J Miller Electric is the general contractor and electrician that is doing the generator improvements and the SCADA communications improvements for the Whispering Ridge well house, as well as the other well house at Land and Village Estates and the lift stations. So pay application 4 and 5 are presented here. And they were pre-approved by Strand.
Just for the record, it looks like we have pay application number 4 is in the amount of $65,486.34. And pay application 5 is for $113,000, $113,012.96.
Okay, well, I would like to forward a motion. I'm gonna do 2 separate motions for this. The first motion would be to accept the application for payment number 4 to the contractor J Miller Electric in the amount of $65,486.34 as submitted and approved by Strand Associates.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
How many more do we have?
How many more?
I mean, we got.
Pay application.
We got 5. How many more are we gonna have?
It just depends on how long the project goes on for, and they just do applications as certain progress milestones are met.
Okay.
Less any retainage, and then when there's substantial completion, and then we close out the contract, we pay out the retainage.
Yeah, they're getting close to the final of it. Getting the communications established is essentially the final hurdle. Then will be the landscape restoration around the generator enclosure. And then they will be wrapping up everything. So I think they had April as their initial completion date. It may trickle out a little bit after that, but we're getting closer to the end. Yeah.
Is this TID eligible?
This is part of this was not.
This is part of the water project, right?
I'm trying to remember if we included this in the water expansion project, or not.
Jerry says
I
yes.
thought we did.
I think a portion of it was, but I think some of it is TID because we couldn't
Right.
get all of the.
Yeah, there
The
was some
SCADA
kind of changes in how that was gonna get booked with the USDA
Yeah,
and all
we had to
that.
finalize USDA, the end of last. week.
So it's either part of the USDA funding or TID funding or combination thereof. So, yeah, we did get a second. Yeah, any other discussion? All those in favor
Aye.
of pay application 4?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries for pay app 4.
I will forward a motion to accept the application or to submit the application for payment for J Miller Electric, payment application number 5 in the amount of $113,012.96 as approved by Strand Associates.
I will second.
You have a motion and a second to approve pay application 5. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 13, discussion and possible action regarding approval of conflict waiver from Von Briesen and Roper. As you'll recall, Lemke Stone has an outstanding conditional use permit issue for a piece of property that they've obtained here in the village, and they are also represented by Von Briesen, as is the village, so standard practices for legal counsel to request a waiver of conflict. Hector, if you want to describe that any further, you're certainly welcome to.
After applying for the conditional use permit, Lemke Stone contacted other attorneys in our downtown office to do work with regards to some corporate employment matters. And we have a daily posting of new clients, new matters. When I saw that, I alerted the other attorney that we were already representing the village in a situation where Lemke was making an application with the village for a conditional use permit. Whereupon the other attorney obtained a consent and a waiver of conflict from Lemke Stone. And now it's up to the village to decide whether it has any objection to our firm, different attorneys, different matters. I won't have access to their file, and they will not have access to our files. So it's up to you. This is, unfortunately, from my point of view, a problem that larger firms run into. We have about 180 attorneys, and the ethical rules require that we inform the clients that there may be conflict. I personally do not believe that there's any conflict here, and I know nothing about the employment matter. And even if I did, I have trouble imagining how it would be a conflict with a conditional use permit, which is still pending.
So we don't have to fire you?
Yeah.
Good.
So I'd be looking for a motion to approve me to execute the waiver, basically.
All right, well.
I guess I have a question before we do that is, so Lemke kind of came in, they're new to Von Briesen, correct?
I don't know. I don't believe that they had been a client before.
Okay. And is there any reason to suspect or believe that that they would need Von Briesen representation with the conditional use permit or with further matters of quarrying or future use or development of that property in the future?
The letter indicates that if they were to need legal assistance in that regard, they would hire another firm. And that's
Okay.
contained in the second to the last paragraph on the first page.
Okay. So if a situation occurred where they needed representation for a village matter, they would seek outside counsel?
Yes.
Okay, well, I will forward a motion that we authorize President Patrick Yates to sign and execute the waiver of conflict as presented by Von Reason in relation to the, Lemke Stone issue.
I'll second.
You have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 14, discussion and possible action on approval of two-party contract between Kapoor and the Village of Lannon for the professional real estate services necessary for the reconstruction of Good Hope Road.
Okay, so. Kapoor has drafted an agreement. This is a two-party agreement, so essentially it is just between the Village of Lannon and Kapoor. So this is for the real estate negotiation and appraisal. And this is necessary to do the development or reconstruction of Good Hope Road. There's multiple properties, approximately 36 parcels, where the property lines actually come to the center of roadway. So in order to do the reconstruction and redevelopment for Good Hope Road, it's necessary to appraise those properties and then purchase the property in order to increase the right of way and rebuild the roadway. So this contract here, is actually, so it'd be kind of oversawn by, Kapoor and Associates. They would work with another firm, that would do the negotiations, the appraisals and the acquisitions, of the properties. This is for up to 36 parcels. It's a unitary rate. If they do less than that, there would be a deduct. If they need to do more than that, there would be additional cost. The sub consultant that they're working with,
Single source.
Single Source, thank you. So Single Source would actually be the ones that be doing the appraisals and the initial negotiations with the property owners. And then they would come to the village with the proposed fees or acquisition costs for the real estate. And the village would be involved in the negotiations. They're moving forward. So this proposal is for $165,000 and $165,500 for the 36 parcels. This does not include any of the acquisition, so any acquisition cost is a separate burden of cost. I do not know funding for this. I presume that this is TID eligible fund expense.
This is a TID identified project.
Okay, and then so is real estate acquisition TID eligible expense also?
Yes,
Okay.
should be. And also, this is, keep in mind, this is a grant, a TAP grant project as well, so the TID would be covering the village's portion of that entire commitment. So we got a large grant from the WISDOT
So
for this project, and then that's I believe that's an 80-20 grant.
So and maybe Ben can clarify, but as I understand, the grant and the WISDOT 80-20 share covers the design and the reconstruction, which is gonna be the next item that we get to. That cost share does not get involved with the real estate appraisal negotiations or the real estate acquisition. That's why this one is drafted as a two-party agreement, which we are solely financially responsible for. And it's separate from the three-party one, which is the 80-20.
Okay, gotcha.
So then, yeah, so I guess my biggest question is the funding for it. Does the village have the financial resources for this and the acquisition?
Traditionally, TIDs do allow for acquisition, as an inherent characteristic of the TID. This is a TID identified project, so I would be quite surprised if it was disallowed. That being said, I don't work for Ellers, couldn't say for sure. I don't know if council has an opinion on the matter.
I spoke with Ben Wood this afternoon to understand better the arrangement here. And first of all, as trustee Batista has indicated, the contract that's before you contemplates an amount of $165,500 on a not to exceed basis. In other words, at this point, a lot of the engineering work that's going to be done under the next matter that you're gonna look at will determine with a little more certainty how many parcels are going to be involved with regard to the overall design. It was Ben Wood's understanding that any costs associated with the actual price of the property to be acquired was to be shouldered by the village exclusively. There is, however, the construction, reconstruction aspects of the project, an 80-20 split with the village. And it was his understanding that although this cost for the real estate is TID eligible, given the cash flow from the TID, that the village might need to go out and borrow money, because at the time of the acquisition of the title for these parcels, the statute, chapter 32, requires payment at that time in full.
Okay. So we could then, in order to make sure that everyone is comfortable with this, since we don't have definitive, confirmations here, we could, approve this, conditioned upon, confirmation from municipal finance advisor that the costs associated with the acquisition and these fees are in fact TID eligible. And that the village has the requisite funds available and or the ability to borrow the funds needed.
It's a good motion right there.
All right.
Did you get that?
Yes, Jerry.
You'll recall we got, I believe, 300,000 out of Helquist for the
We did.
full reconstruction.
You're right. We did.
When was that?
330,000, I believe it was actually from Hallquist,
Was that prior?
when they did the Quali Farms conditional use permit to do site preparations. They put that up for reconstruction of,
That was like, what, 3 or 5 years ago?
that was actually 6 years ago.
Okay, yeah, before me.
Yeah.
What bucket is that money in? Is that on our books?
That should be getting held in some fund that Wendy and Brenda.
That's what this box down here is.
Yeah,
Right.
The other set of books.
right. There's the tax books and then the real books.
So if the motion is not made as you suggested, is the next avenue then to get the approval from Ellers that this is TID eligible and then come back next month and make a motion?
That would seem to be the reasonable course of action in my opinion.
Because I think personally, that's my biggest concern is making sure that
Yep.
we have the ability to do that, because if we're not able to use the TID funds to pay for this services or to pay for the real estate, then we just can't afford to do it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and then in order just to kind of keep the process moving along, that's why I, suggested that we include something like that in the motion so that if it does get validated, satisfactorily, then we can just keep the process moving without having to wait for another board meeting, but.
Yeah, because when we were discussing the rebuild project, the acquisition of land had never come up. That I recall until now, so this is obviously something that as Strand is doing the engineering, they're realizing that they have to actually acquire this land.
Well,
It wasn't budgeted for.
We've known for some time that there are a lot of right-of-way issues with property lines along that stretch of road because there's just some very old records that never got changed or updated or recorded with the deeds, and so, I mean, it's a hodgepodge of some property lines and right-of-way stuff.
Village, the whole village has that.
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it hasn't been implicitly discussed, but it's been known for some time that it was going to, at some point, be an item that was gonna have to get taken care of.
So when you say acquiring the property, are we acquiring from the middle of the road to their
The new.
right of way or yard or whatever?
Well,
Is that what you're referring to?
what I'm saying is their right of way technically
Is in the road.
is in the middle of the road.
Right,
So what we're doing is buying a piece of the property to put the property line back to our desired right of way width, which is typically 60 feet.
Yeah, we're essentially subdividing their parcel of land. So we can get that 30 or 60 or whatever feet footage that's needed to make the improvements are. And then we will. You know, through this contract, negotiate it, discover what it is, negotiate it, then make the purchase for it. And then we'll have to have the engineers come out, draw out new plats. Surveyors will come out, they'll set new pins and replot the land. So, and that's all part of the process.
so these 36 parcels, are any of them business?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Some are
Along with
business, some are
homes.
residential.
Yes.
Yes.
and some are residential.
Yeah.
Perhaps, if I make this point, typically in most of the developments that you have seen, when you are asked to approve a plat for a condominium or new development, there is allowance made for public roads. And typically the public roads are dedicated by the property owner as part of the development process under the Wisconsin statute. These properties, however, came into being at such time as either it was not contemplated that there would be a road going through, or if there was the possibility of a road, that the right of way would not be full 60 feet. So that's why we have to clear this issue up.
We went through the exact same thing about 10 years ago with Town Line Road. When they rebuilt it, and the county then went to 100-foot right away. So we all had to sell some of our frontage.
Okay.
You get the 3 appraisals. And
It's basically an eminent domain
yes,
thing.
It is.
it is.
It is contemplated here that single source has and will approach the property owners with an appraisal of what the land is worth that's needed. I'm not sure what their plans are, but ordinarily under eminent domain, the municipality that it's condemning then has to pay the property owner wants to get an appraisal for themselves. And there's a time period that's allowed for that, 60 days. And then when the 2 appraisals are in hand, there are negotiations between the representative of the municipality and the property owner. And if in fact the gap between the 2 positions is great, the municipality can still go ahead and offer what is known as the jurisdictional offer, which is best and final offer for the land. And once that is recorded, title to that land transfers to the village because of the public purpose involved. However, the recourse that the property owner has is that it has 2 years from that point to challenge the fairness of the amount paid. And the interesting thing in the Wisconsin law is that a property owner who can prove to a jury or to a judge that there was more than 15% difference in what the true value is, the property owner gets reimbursement for attorney fees also and expenses. So it's a self-regulating mechanism. In other words, the government has to deal with people in a fair way. And if it tries to be too aggressive, the government pays a higher price for the land and the cost of getting that higher price. So my thought was that if you are considering approving this on a contingent basis, you're gonna telescope the amount of time that this process is gonna take, because it will take a while to, number one, get the plat finalized as to where the road, the configuration is going to be, how it's going to be laid out. And secondly, start appraising the different parcels that are going to be needed.
And I don't know if there's an urgent need to approve this tonight, or if it's, if we can table this till the next meeting, when we have confirmation of TID eligibility. I mean, this project is going to go on, this is an ongoing and a future kind of project anyway. So, I don't know that this has any level of urgency that if the board isn't completely comfortable with any form of a motion with contingencies built in, then we should table it.
What is the time frame? Do you have any kind of a guess? Because I'm not sure if I remember this right, the money from Allquist was to help foot the bill to repair the road after the Quality Farm is filled in it.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, basically that was kind of the gist of it, it was basically with the added road traffic and the weight of the trucks hauling the stone out and stuff while they did their site preparation. That was the consideration that was given. So the thought is, it kind of worked out with the timing of when we anticipated being able to potentially rebuild Good Hope Road anyway. Let's get the activity through there first instead of putting it onto a new road. That was kind of the thought. So things are kind of falling into place in that sense.
So if, let's say they're not done reclaiming that site, would by going forward with this, the date on here is 2 years down the road. Is there a deadline where this is all gotta be completed by the entire project?
So
I don't see anything.
that's going to be driven more by the funding source, the TAP grant, and when those awards, well, the award's been done already, but when the funding, it's funded for a certain construction year. And they do that stuff years out. So I think this is like the 2028 construction year.
It's planned for construction in 2028.
So, and it's not that doing this project, requires us prohibiting any further activity on the Colley Farm property. It's just, we're simply trying to mitigate the amount of truck traffic that we could. There's always gonna be truck traffic on that road. It just is. There's, with the quarries that are already there.
Building houses on the Colley Farm. You're
Yeah.
talking 100
Yeah.
houses, so you're gonna have
Right.
concrete trucks. for
Yeah.
That alone.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's gonna kind of be what it is. But my earlier point is that, this project, I think, is far enough out that, I think it could wait a month if that's what we wanna do. To make sure that we've got all our Ts crossed and our Is dotted. I don't know that there's any necessary sense of urgency.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think the design phase of it has to be done by December of 27. So it can go out to bid.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there always seems to be we always seem to be up against the timeline with some of this stuff. That's why I prefer to just kind of keep it moving along as it comes in. Just so we don't.
It would be a lot easier if Ben was here to consult with him, don't you think? I mean, I always like to hear from him because he always brings up something that I hadn't.
For me, I think my biggest question is with Ellers and as to
Yeah.
whether or not
Yeah.
it is.
Just confirming that it's TID eligible and that we have the funding source identified for it, and we're not left sitting here going, okay, well, how are we gonna write a check for $165,000?
Yeah, and I will say, when we do get down to the next agenda items, time is of the essence on that. And any delays that we make in moving forward with the three-party agreement. Would likely cause a delay, month or 2 month or whatever delay for when we start construction on Good Hope. Not that that really matters, because I think it's important to make sure that we make fiscally important decisions also. Because it doesn't make sense to proceed with the three-party agreement if we don't have sourcing to buy the real estate.
Right.
So. I guess from my perspective, I would make a motion to table this for 1 month. Put it on the April agenda for the two-party contract between Kapoor and Associates and the Village of Lannon for the real estate for the professional services of Good Hope Road Real Estate Services.
I will second.
But to include Ellers.
Before we meet
Yep.
again next month, we'll have to have a meeting with Ellers. Or at least I will, and anybody else that's interested, so we can get confirmation that we can get the funding done.
So just to be clear, what we need from Ellers is not only the 156,600 for acquisition services, but then
The
whatever
actual acquisition.
they add the actual acquisition,
Right,
whether that's still
correct.
eligible.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's probably surveying costs above that too, to actually replot them and put the pins in too.
Yeah, I mean, what is the? Yeah, maybe. They do have 36 recordings here. At $50 each. I'm assuming would those be title or deed recordings?
Deed recording.
Yeah. And then the LPA certification, what is that?
Not sure.
Right. Property acquisition, maybe?
I'm not certain on that either.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other questions? Otherwise, I think Dan and myself have pretty clear idea of the questions we're seeking here, answers for here. Okay, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries to table the approval of the two-party agreement until the April meeting, with the presumption that we'll have clarification. Item 15, discussion of possible action on approval of a three-party contract between Wisdot, Village of Lannon, and Kapoor for the design and engineering services project for the reconstruction of Good Hope Road. Wisdot project ID 2752-05-00.
Okay, so summary of this is almost as long as the description there. But essentially, this is the three-party agreement that is cost shared 80-20, 80% by Wisdot, 20% by the Village of Lannon through the TID eligibility funds. So this contract is for $639,225.14 plus a fixed fee of $55,048.49 for a total not to exceed of $694,273.63. So that is the cost for the design process and engineering and investigation work for the reconstruction of Good Hope Road. This essentially gets us from day one up into through construction documents and up into a construction handoff meeting. So that fee covers the geotech investigation, the utility investigation, the design of where the road will lay, the sidewalk or bike routes will lay, the retaining wall stability investigation, and then the design of the new roadway. And then essentially they would have a handoff meeting with whoever would be managing the construction process and provide all the construction documents to that party. So this does not cover any construction costs. I believe the way that this would be invoiced is that Wisdot would invoice us for the 20%.
Dana, do you feel that this one should also be Ellers?
Loaded question. It by default, I feel that we should wait to move forward on this until we can confirm that we can buy the property that we need to build the road on. If we move forward with a three-party agreement, but then find out that we don't have the funds to buy the property, then we're kind of not being a very good steward with the money that we have here. So I feel like we really need to make sure that we're able to take care of the real estate end of it first before we do this. Now, the funding is separate. We've been told multiple times by Ellers that this is TID approved. So I feel like we have a confident answer that this is TID eligible and is qualified for that TID expense. But back to the earlier point.
I just asked because you were connecting the two-party with the three.
It's a cart and horse situation, right? To Dan's point. While we're probably more certain we have funding sources for this one. If there's uncertainty on the other one, which is really a prerequisite to do this work, then we should. In good conscience, table this one as well.
At this point, is there any potential of modifying this proposed contract? Because there were some things I noticed, like under section N, traffic. Said prepare build year and build year plus 20 year traffic projections. Now, in other proposals we have looked at, there was some terminology, plan for future development. You know, to consider that, not just, you know, what we think the traffic will be in 20 years, but additional developments within the village, how that will affect. Another thing was street lighting. It says not included in this contract. Now, Kapoor's proposal, didn't really specify that, but it kind of alluded to that they had staff to, for street lighting alternatives. And, there was another proposal that, considered, corridor lighting conditions. So, it'd be nice to incorporate some of these add-ons, if it's feasible.
And if, it certainly is adjustable, so we can have the conversations with them to make amendments to the contract. Obviously, any additional scope or services that we add will have an increase in cost as well too. I believe with specific to the street lighting, the discussion that we had with them during the, I guess what's called the scoping meeting, is that Good Hope Road currently has We Energy provided lights that are on utility poles. And that would be the same moving forward. And so that's the specific reason why street lighting was omitted from the contract. I'm not opposed to having a discussion about whether or not we change that moving forward. But if we do put in village lighting on it, then we also need to make sure that we have the annual budget to keep the lights on. So.
And could that be something that could be just change ordered in at a later date, or does it need to be contemplated in the initial contract?
I would imagine it could be change ordered in, but the sooner the better to make changes.
So, and I think part of the challenge is that we really don't know what the final design and layout's gonna end up being and what the impact to the existing utility poles and lighting are gonna be, right? So.
Fair point.
And it could be something that I could have a discussion with them and ask them, to what feasibility there would be with street lighting, or to list perhaps that as an alternate. And we could consider it.
Then one other thing we brought up previously was, a life cycle cost analysis comparing concrete to asphalt. Whether the additional expense of concrete, and the longevity of concrete would outweigh, that against asphalt.
We did discuss that with them, and I think another applicant too. If I'm not mistaken.
I think Ben's standing position has been that while concrete might be a better surface in some respects, the ongoing maintenance of the concrete and the difficulty in doing so kind of outweighed the benefits of it. Especially with the limited resources of the village's DPW department.
The county thing, is that section county road or not?
No,
That one section is not.
it used to be.
Right.
I don't know, when did they dump that in our laps, Jerry?
Oh, I'm innocent. I was overseas or something. It's
But-
like 30 years,
but-
40 years ago.
I was gonna say, but don't act like you don't know when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it used to be, but at some point they gifted it back to us. That's the only stretch of Good Hope in the village that is not county road. But I'm with you, I think, to me, the concrete always seems like a more durable surface, but when it does start to crack and break out at the joints and stuff, then it becomes, if you're not gonna maintain those well, I think it deteriorates faster than problems in asphalt.
Then you grind it and overlay asphalt.
Well, good. Yeah, I think that's been done too, and then that's where you see those patches of asphalt with big holes in it of concrete underneath.
It's Wisconsin, it's gonna last.
Well, that's a true statement.
But if there's a good base under it and really.
Yeah.
Once the construction's done, the only thing in that stretch of Good Hope with big trucks is Lemke. And they're not, how do I put this diplomatically? They don't do a ton of heavy hauling on that road.
Lakeshore burial vaults.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're looking to do here is, a motion to table the three-party design engineering services contract. Until we get clarification on the, two-party contract.
I think that makes sense. Unless
That's what I'll move.
I'll second.
we have a motion, and a second, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 16, discussion of possible action regarding the local project utility coordination task list related to the reconstruction of Good Hope Road. Same project number.
Same project number, this is related with it, if we, kind of given the circumstances that we've had, you'd probably want a similar outcome with this. But essentially, this one I'm not quite as well, in the know on. But from my understanding is they're essentially looking or requesting, coordination between the village of Landon and what they're gonna be doing out there. And also looking for, permit fees to be waived, as a result of the investigation work that they need to do. So. And I think that is about the level of my knowledge on this at this point in time.
Yeah, this one does not seem to have any funding requirements associated with it. It's
Correct, it's more of a coordinating of the knowledge and base that we have from the utilities, coordinating with them. Essentially sharing what information and historical documents that we have, we'll share that with them. And then essentially that Kapor will cross-reference the historical data that we have with the historical data that WisDOT has. And then they'll move forward and we will coordinate with them to the extent that we know with utilities that are involved with Good Hope Road.
Yeah, what does it mean when they state that the utility land interests associated with real estate acquisition on this project? So they're talking about utility. So that must be land owned by the utilities in relation to real estate acquisitions, maybe? I'm having a hard time understanding what that,
Which paragraph is that?
I'm sorry, right in the
Very-
bottom, the description.
Oh, sure.
It just caught my interest because it says real estate acquisition and I'm like, oh, look at that. Utility land interest.
So if you look at number 16 on this list, the task list, submit recorded plat or plats, release of rights documents, utility agreement or SNR form, all real estate commitments and Buy America's certification form, along with project plan, transmittal packet, and then they've got plat and release of rights only. It's probably
Okay,
something to do with that, right? Maybe? Or utility easements, or,
Easements is what comes to my mind when it talks
Yeah.
about the real estate for utilities.
right,
You may notice on page 1 of 3 in the upper left-hand corner. Where it says project sponsor. About 5 lines down, this refers to the village of Lannon, I believe. So then when you look on page 2 and page 3, on the checklist, the LCA,
oh, yeah.
there are limited tasks that the village has to carry out.
oh, okay.
Project meetings, approved utility work plans, and network plan.
Essentially, it is sharing the, as built or historical records that we have with any of the utilities that are within that right of way.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I guess my gut is that.
well, and then I think it's just kind of a standard release form that they need in order to operate out there. Probably the only other part of this that is a question to ask is, and I don't remember if it was on this one or on the previous one. That their assumption is that any permit costs for doing any work out here that we would waive the fees on. It doesn't really again, if we didn't waive the fees on it, then their costs go up and to cover the fees, so it just makes sense to waive the fees. So.
Yeah, I don't see that on this particular one, but
Yeah, I
that
think
does make
I think
sense.
that was on the 3-party agreement.
Well, should we table this one as well then and just move this whole thing to the next meeting or? I mean, they all kind of seem interconnected and pushing one through without the other two seems futile.
Yeah.
Okay,
What do you wanna do, Dan? Your name's on it.
yeah.
This one doesn't cost us any money.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Oh,
Sign away on it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, my gut feeling is that there's really no harm in moving this one forward.
I would agree, and then it shows that we're moving forward with it,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and utility companies are notoriously slow to respond, so I think the sooner we can get them the access that they need to get that ball rolling and get people committed and resources committed, the better.
They probably won't do anything until the other two are signed anyway.
Well, maybe not, but who knows, they tend to operate in their own world. So do we have a motion one way or the other? Anybody feeling brave?
Okay, I'll make a motion that the board approves the local project utility coordination task list. Which identifies Dan trustee Batiste as the project sponsor for the village of Lannon. And that identifies the design consultant and the WisDOT project manager.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Sign your life away, Dan. Item 17, discussion and possible action on payment of the bills. There was a recommendation by the Finance and Personnel Committee to recommend payment of the bills as presented by the clerk.
I will make a motion that we pay the bills as presented by the village clerk.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 18, engineers report. Well, I don't think so. Item 19, attorney's report.
I have no report
Oh.
this evening.
Oh. Holy cow,
Two in a
barely
row.
heard from you. I was expecting something. Item 20, the only thing I have to add is that, my intent is to, have an item on next month's agenda to recommend an appointment to the Plan Commission for, a familiar face, Mr. Newman. If you have any thoughts, positive or negative, or want to discuss it with me prior to next month's meeting, you know how to reach me. But that is my intent. Other than that, the Easter event's been covered already. So I think we're good to get out of here.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion, a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
So Patrick, who is Jerry thinking of this one?
Mr. Graham retired.
Mike Grimm.
So while you're throwing money away, where's the water main in the Good Hope Road?
What, we're throwing money away?
Yeah.
Where's the water main?